Hello, friends. The penultimate book club review is upon us. It feels like the time between book clubs has been exponentially increasing since I arrived, but at long last, it's almost over. I can't wait to be reading next month's book, knowing that The Office is the next unit's problem, and then after that book club book, the next one will be in person. So let's just jump into the book then, shall we? The opening of the book was definitely funny in a sad kind of way. This couple has been through it, man, haven't they? Trying to get married. Glad the third time was actually a charm for them, and glad they got to spend their lovely honeymoon in a beautiful spot. Just kidding, their marriage was doomed from the start. It's actually funny looking at my notes for the portion of the book and just getting a glimpse again of how fast it fell apart. My notes literally go, are they ever going to get married? Hey, they're finally married. Oh, this marriage is off to a rough start. Oh, this marriage is over. One part of the book that seemed odd to me, at least in terms of character motivation and action, was when Anton is getting stealth fired. First off, I thought Elena was going to end up being like a skinwalker or something. I don't know, man. I never read anything about this book before reading it. She just disappears one day and another woman takes her spot. Like, that's clear skinwalker behavior. Then, instead of getting straight up fired or questioning him immediately, Anton slowly has the amount of work he has to do reduced down to nothing. I'd be hella suspicious if I suddenly had no work, but I was still getting paid. I mean, would I say anything about it? Probably not, but I'd at least try to keep my criminal background a little bit more of a secret after that, even to the people who I thought I knew well. And it was around this point in the book where Audible straight up skipped a chapter number. The beginning of the chapter would read chapter 3, but Audible would have it labeled as chapter 4. I happened to not notice this as I was a little zoned out while listening and thought I had zoned out an entire chapter. It wasn't until about halfway through the book that I realized what had happened. The next thing I want to touch on is the gall of Arya. Not only did I not super understand her motivation to kill her cousin, I can't believe she roped her parents into guilting him into doing this one little favor for her, then threatened him with blackmail, and then kept him waiting to be murdered. First off, why, Arya, would you want Anton killed? It just doesn't make any sense to me. He was out of the game. He had no intentions of coming back. Maybe she had caught wind of what Broden was up to and just figured to cut the loose end rather than to talk to her cousin who she grew up with, who she lived in the same house with. In the end, her attempted murder put him in a better spot than she'll be in shortly. If she hadn't tried to have him killed, he probably would have gone down with her when Broden finally caught up to the two of them. And I totally get why Anton flipped on her in the end. You try to kill me, best believe I'm snitching at the speed of sound. Hopefully Broden holds up her end of the deal and doesn't spoil the surprise that Anton is still alive in her pursuit to catch Arya. Another thing with killing Arya, why give Anton a date just to keep pushing it back further and further? Arya should have known that eventually Sonya wouldn't put up with staying for so long and would have left anyways. Then what kind of leverage do you have on Anton to make him stay? She's lucky he found a nice life in this new location, otherwise he might have just bolted immediately. And don't even get me started on trying to understand why Anton and Sonya got married in the first place. Why Elena and Caleb dated for so long. None of the relationships in this book make any sense except for Anton and Elena. I will hand it to Caleb though, the man took the situation like a champ. It can't be easy to watch your girlfriend literally run out the door with another man's cat to elope overseas with him. Caleb, if you were a real person, the drinks would be on me for that one. It might seem like from how much I'm raging on the character motivations and relationships in this book that I didn't really like it, but honestly, I found myself rather enjoying it for its entire duration. I think the fact that it was a shorter book, at least in audiobook length, helped keep my mind fresh on relevant details, especially since the plot was relatively simple, looking past all the flashbacks and stuff, which, I won't lie, still trip me up from time to time. This book was kind of like one of those movies where everything is just going wrong all the time, but you can't help but keep watching. And so, for that reason, I'm going to have to give the book a recommend. It was a good book. Not one that I don't ever think I'd read again, but I still enjoyed my time reading it. And now, for those of you who listen to these book club reports, gripping their seats, wondering what game I was playing while intensely focusing on listening to the book, have no fear, for here is the game that held my attention locked in for the entire time I read this book. Okay, no, but for real though, doing some chill grinding in RuneScape actually helped a lot with being able to concentrate on the words that were being spoken. I kind of like to associate it as my own personal Subway Surfers underneath TikToks. I do also want to give mention to another game that I've been playing since I finished the book, and surprisingly, it sucked me in. The game is called I Was a Teenage Exocolonist, and it's basically like a card game relationship simulator with pretty wild choices to make and a cool story to experience. What really caught my attention aside from the story and tough choices I've had to make is how inclusive the game is when it comes to representing different gender identities and how cautiously it deals with subject matter. I mean, what other game have you seen that has a slider for both gender presentation as well as pronouns that can be changed at any time, or even extensive customization for they them pronouns? Add on to that their extensive and detailed content warning list as well as that cool story about spending 10 years starting at age 10 in a colony on a hostile world, and I think it's a great game. Well, now that the book club and surprise gaming section are done, I guess all that's left is to say goodbye for the second to last time before I get to say hello to you all again. I'm super excited that this journey is coming to a close, not because I'm tired of reading these books or because I've been making these videos, but because I miss you all so much and I can't wait to be home. I'll see you guys next month for the last book club video in this series. See you later.